This is Shortwaves from Jaguar Shoes Collective. My name's George. Today we're talking to Nat and Jules from TTRRUUCES. Hello.
Hey, hello.
How have you two found the past couple of months?
First, because everything was changing and we're still in kind of like, we're always doing something, shooting a video. There was so much to do, putting that, finishing the album, preparing the release. At first, we just wrote like a song a day, and we're like, "Oh, it's gonna be great. We're gonna make 3 albums during quarantine." And yeah, I guess
after 2 weeks, we're like,
For example, we did like all those live videos. I don't know if you've seen some of them, but that was really fun for us. And like we're supposed to shoot I'm Alive video in Los Angeles, which
really?
We were going to do like a road trip from LA to Las Vegas.
We had everything planned, the car, the hotels, the thing, and obviously that got scraped out. But thank God, we had some friends who do animation for us. So we're like, okay, we got the storyboard, we got everything, we can't go there.
Can you just animate everything we were going to do?
and that came out great, we're super happy with it. So obviously it came with lots of challenges.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the album then, because it's following a story. It's got like a bit of a concept to it, which I'm really into. Whose idea was that when it came to starting the writing process?
We had the word TTRRUUCES. We wanted to do a project, and we've been producing many artists or co-writing with other artists. Yeah. So we wrote the song Sad Girl while we're thinking of that. And then there was such a UFO for us. We never did a song like that. So it just kind of came about, and then, we both were like, how cool would it be?
Well, if we wrote like an album about that character and like a journey, and then it all kind of randomly came.
And then from that idea, it was so exciting, because I think that's what we're looking for. We're looking for an idea that was exciting enough, because we knew an album will take, like a year, 2 years to put together. Then Sad Girl came, and we're like, she needs a partner in crime. So we invented the Lost Boy character in our head, and then made the song Lost Boy. And with that in our heads, the summer came, and then we're like, you know what? Let's really make that record. Everything was in peace. We had an idea for the sound. We had like a new use of lots of unusual sounds and voices like we never did before. So we're like, let's dig into that.
I do think it's a really good way to sort of stand out from the crowd, because now I've been following your music from Findlay from back in the day. At first, I didn't realize this was your new project. When was there sort of that moment where you thought, actually, we could do something separate?
When Cycle came out, like, that's not like a Findlay song at all.
Sure.
And I think the dynamic that came when we were writing TTRRUUCES just felt really natural, and like we should nurture that dynamic and push that
absolutely.
Its own thing.
We've been working with so many people. TTRRUUCES became that bubble of creativity. So everything else we're doing was good, it was songs, but when we got into TTRRUUCES, we spent 3 days. We were so excited, we were like kids again. And I think that's what makes good records. They grow with us, like you live with an idea, and then 2 years later, you realize that now, the Lost Boy as a real person on earth, living it, being the Lost Boy. Same for the Sad Girl. There's the band, there's everyone we collaborated with, it becomes bigger than yourself.
You said there that you've got Sad Boy and Sad Girl sort of living in real life. That's with your friends Basti and Lisa, right?
Exactly.
What's their background? Are they actor friends who you knew, who you approached, or were they just around?
Lisa is like the best friend of the ex-girlfriend of Findlay's guitarist. So
so she was around at a few parties.
She was around, and we knew her well.
And one day there was a picture she posted, and she looked really sad. And we're like, we literally both looked at each other. We're like, she's the sad girl.
She needs to be the sad girl. It's exactly like what I pictured in my head when I was singing about the sad girl.
We always knew she would be blonde with big eyes, and like literally one day just scrolling through her phone.
I was like, look.
Yeah. And then for the Lost Boy, it took longer. So we're like, because you know, the character is extreme, he's a party animal, and it's so hard to fake. Like, if you're not that, how are you gonna act that? So we were kind of looking around with a few ideas, a few friends that could do it, but nothing that really worked. And then we met.
We were making the video for the disco. That was like the first video that we made. The director of that is our friend Izzy from Black Honey, and she'd done. I think it was the Black Honey video Midnight. And she was like, oh wait, I have this character who did like the Mick Jagger like type guy. His name's Basti, and he was like, I think he'd be perfect to play the Lost Boy.
So she just said that, and we're like, you know what, we're meeting people. Let's see. And we invited him to meet us at like a cafe somewhere. And he arrived literally with like a friend of his and introduced himself as Minder. He's like, I'm like Jonah Hill in Get Him to the Greek. I'm just here to make sure that guy shows up to meet me. And we saw him, we're like, that's it, that's our guy. I really hope he loves the music. We took him back home, played him the record, and he was like, guys, I see myself in a character, I'll do it, I'll breathe it. We shot the video and he got so into the character. At the end of the day, he was like in tears, really inside the character. He felt like working with Jim Carrey or something. That was great, yeah. And then from that point, we became a family, you know what I mean? There was like, we had our characters, we had the project. And yeah, it's been amazing, you know, creating characters, but becoming family.
Like this like family over the last year. I think everyone like needed something in their life like that as well at the time.
And with TTRRUUCES, there was a story we were dreaming, but there was a place, there was that house, there was all the videos that we kept doing, because we're doing one video for each track. And then at the end, when you put it chronologically together, it would be like one movie. So
is that the end goal then, to do a movie?
It will be released at the cinema as a movie, as an experimental film, because obviously like there will be some interludes and stuff like that, but you jump from animation to there's different directors.
Like mixed media.
Sure.
Mixed media. Every end of video is the exact beginning of the next one. As soon as all the video are done, we'll do a few specials in like cinemas where we just play in the shadow, following the movie.
There's definitely scope for some like incredible festival sets there.
Love to like the drive-through thing as well, where we have like the projector and.
Of course, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
But that's the thing. We've only done 5 gigs, and the 5 of them have been super special. Like the first one we did, you know, was just a support tour, so it was great reaction. But then very slowly, the Victoria was amazing as well. It was a great night, just, you know, a casual London night. But we realized there that like some songs really have a potential to move the crowd. We've had like. On another support, we had a woman crying at one of our songs, and live is a big part of the
We're getting offers for like next year's festival.
It's been really weird not having any physical reality. You know, like you wake up and like 4 months ago, I don't know how long that has been, but if you had told us that, you know, we'd have like our music being played almost every day on radio in France, in England, in Germany, many times a day. That would have felt surreal, you know, because like we just started, and same things looking at like the response, you know, like people talking about how they felt about the album. It's been amazing. Like some people have really deeply connected with that. We love that, you know, just certain points, knowing there's a full story, but letting the songs resonate to them and see which one picks on them, and everyone has a different one.
I did enjoy when I was going through the videos earlier, like pretty much every comment and on like all your Instagram stuff is just release I'm Alive. Like how many people did that get leaked or something before that? How did people know about it beforehand?
Look on FIFA 20.
That's the one.
Yeah, we did a video putting together you can find it on our IGTV, putting every last comment we've received about Where's I'm Alive, and we've had some glorious one. And it did drop it. There's been a wave of love. All those people that discovered us through FIFA became like, you know, thanked us, and we've had crazy messages. Some guy texted me like, you guys don't realize how important that song is for me right now. I just battled with COVID, and my family had it too, so we're all afraid for our lives. And today we just received the good news that the virus is going down, we're all good, we all survived, and you release I'm Alive. And I was waiting for it, and we've been listening to it, and we're all alive, and it's beautiful. And you know, that made up for the lack of physical reality right now.
Yeah. And also it helps, you know, it's a massive song.
Thanks.
I did want to ask actually like about another song on there, like one of my favorites, the Disco, because that one it reminds me of like DeLorean Dynamite. This like confidence man thing going on there, and when you compare it to something like Sad Girl, obviously that's two really different songs. Have you ever sort of found yourselves working out of your comfort zone?
No, always felt good. Like there's so many different, like the disco is completely different to like Sad Girl. Trying different things is our comfort zone. I'd be really uncomfortable trying to make an album that had one specific sound.
We like eclecticism. We like an album to have different horizons. If you listen to the first like MGMT record or stuff like that, even though you know it's MGMT, so it all ties together. Listen to the drum sounds, the synth sounds, the guitar sounds, the vocal sounds. They're all different. They're all over the place, you know. And I think we love that in a record.
You mentioned the Victoria before. This is a Jaguar Shoes video. That gig that you played there was Egyptian Elbow's Christmas party, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Rob and Dave, always Sick Nights on. What is it about that spot that you guys love?
That show was quite special. For the first time, with all those instruments and stuff, we had like a sound engineer who checked our songs before, who came prepared, who came curious. We had a beautiful team of promoters, real passionates, and the venue was great. And yeah, it was a great night actually, because it was our third gig. Like we opened the night, but actually that was the best thing. We had the most people,
right?
You know, it was packed. It was great. We got so many new fans from that night. Weirdly, just on a Thursday night in London.
I used to live on Dalston Lane, so that was like my local for ages, and
the venue's super decent.
Yeah, I just have like good associations with that.
Great sound, and we got super lucky that night because we work with Eggy Elbows, so they became friends now. They help us put together our party here, and and we're doing more together. But as well, there was Alex, the sound engineer that night as well, which same thing, became a friend along the way that we work more with.
How important are spaces like that, sort of like those 100, 200 caps for you guys when it comes to developing new artists and them sort of going out and trying their ideas?
So important,
yeah, really important. Like I think if a lot of those venues close, like it's going to be really damaging for future generations to even start a band or like see a band.
And I come from Paris, so in Paris you don't have that many small venues. So I think like that's something so special about London and UK in general.
Part of the culture here.
Yeah, and that's why it's such a booming, beautiful industry here, where every genre can have a space, every band can find its audience and do it live and convince people live. So yeah, I really hope it looks like there's some good news, and I know that as soon as people can gig, they're going to be crowded, and they might be glorious time for live music soon, I think even as a bigger act, you do want to come back here and there to them just because they have that thing where you're in front of the audience, you're close, it's not too big, you can really deliver something unique without having the pressure of a big headline or stuff like that.
Obviously, you have some great gigs, sometimes you have some absolute shockers. What's been your worst ever gig?
What was that? I like completely lost my voice.
That was tough.
And our manager was there like, you're going on stage, and I was like, I can't even speak. I was like 2 hours before the show with like my head like under the kettle with the steam and everything, like not talking.
But that was a beautiful memory because I remember that at some points
I was crying.
You turned around and started crying because your voice was not following you, but people saw that and gave you so much love back that actually the gig finished. It was great.
Yeah.
I think it's important to sort of share these horror stories just for any sort of aspiring musicians out there, just so they know that when it does happen, it's happening to everyone.
So that's the thing. Like most people don't think of that, but when you see a band live, it is a crew of people moving, and that comes with all the problems. Like how many times airport lost our pedals, or like the neck of the guitar comes broken. There's so many factors that can make a gig go wrong. So when you see a band, think there's 90% chance that one of them is grumpy right now because of something that went wrong, travel related. That's the thing, though. I guess like when you go live, you always have that risk of something going wrong, and that's the beauty of it. Overall, like we were saying that yesterday about how much everything makes sense when you're on stage, and on a good gig is better than anything. Like the last gig we had here, everyone who was in that room left buzzing high of the music. It made sense, it was great, and those moments, once you have them you know that they're just gonna keep happening. So
we've got one more set of questions. It's the Jaguar Shoes pin-up profile. Just a couple of quick fire things, so don't overthink your answers too much. Nat, we'll start with you. Who's the first band that you fell in love with?
I think the Strokes, and I fell in love with all of them as individuals as well.
Fair.
Yeah, I think the Strokes have always been like my number one first love of music.
Good call. Jules, who was the last band you fell in love with?
Maybe For Real, because live, like we saw them at the right night, and like I don't know if you know about them.
Oh yeah, I've seen them a few times. This
yeah.
Nat, north or south?
South.
Jules, what's your favourite cocktail?
Believe it or not, I don't like the taste of alcohol that much. So
You like a margarita?
yeah, I like a little margarita if it's really hot and full of sugar.
Yeah. Nat, if there's a fire at the Truces factory and you can only save one thing, what is it?
Probably Jules' guitar. Box guitars would disown me if I didn't save that.
Oh yeah, that baby needs to be saved.
Like, yeah, that's probably the most valuable thing in the house as well.
Well, Jules, I was going to say same question, but I'm assuming it's the same answer.
I mean, actually, no. Weirdly enough, she will save my guitar, but I will save my teddy bear from when I was a kid. Because that's the thing, that guitar, I'll probably never find it again, but there's a chance I'll find it again. But that teddy bear is just only one of them, so I'll choose him.
What's your teddy bear called?
Louis.
Nice. Okay, last one then. This is for both of you. For someone who doesn't know Truces, which song should they start with?
Bad Kids.
Bad Kids, yeah.
Bad Kids, because it's got it all. Bad Kids has got the vocal harmonies, it's got that darkness and the violins in the middle section, it's got the quirky feeling, it's got that crazy speech at the end of it. There's a little bit of everything.
It's like the Truces recipe in one song.
But my favorite is Sleepyhead, so that's the one I'd recommend, but I can't listen to it too much either. It's quite an intense one.
I mean, we'll just say, you know what, it's meant to be listened in whole. Just listen to the full album. It's easy.
Yeah, get the full album. It's 45 minutes and it's a journey, so try it.
Guys, thanks so much for talking to me today. Hope you have a brilliant rest of your day. Hope that we are back to gigs soon enough. Thanks again.
Oh, thanks so much, man.
See you later.
Have a good one.
Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.
You can catch up with more shortwaves at jaguarshoes.com/radio. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. We're at Shortwaves Radio and Victoria Dalston.